Hello, guys. Good morning and welcome to your show. Today is Monday, November 26, 2018, and let's get right into the financial situation. Let's get the chart started right here, and let's take a look. I had a show I just did about Crimea and what's going on there. Okay, so let's switch over here and let's go over to Bitstamp and watch Bitcoin falling on its way to the abyss. Right now, at this very moment, she's crashing. So we got it on here at the right time to watch this. It's crashing. Just watch it for a minute. It's really Bitcoin is in the tight grips of a really enthusiastic bear market. I mean, the bears are mauling this thing. They're tearing it to pieces. It's Bitcoin and the cryptos are really getting hurt here by this bear market. And so what's happening is we're watching this in real time. It's probably gonna overshoot. It's probably oversold at this point, but they're in the bear enthusiast. There's no love for Bitcoin right now. You know, and so that's what's happening. Let's take a look at cryptocurrency market capitalizations. We're watching the altcoins are starting to do a little bit better, though. You see green numbers on some of these altcoins. We're looking at $125 billion market cap on the coin industry, and we're looking at 54% Bitcoin dominance. And what we're seeing here is we're seeing the altcoins kind of moving a little bit, you know, a little bit more than the rest of the cryptos. This is a sign that we're probably getting down where people are really uncomfortable about selling. You know, I mean, it's getting so it's starting to hurt to sell at this point because the price is getting so low. It's not like we've got a $20,000 Bitcoin anymore. And now we only got a $3,700 Bitcoin that costs almost that much to mine it out of the ether. Let's take a look at the Dow Jones Industrial Average. Let me see. She started yet? Oh, we got 4 more minutes to wait before she opens. Okay, and so we're going to come back to this, you know. I'll ramble. I can ramble on for 4 minutes. Easy, easy. No, not a problem. Let's take a look at silver today. Silver today, we're even with the board right now, basically, $14.26, and I'm going to tell you what, this has barely taken a beating lately, but, you know, it's held its own, though, really. It hasn't really went too much below $14, considering the strength in the dollar right now. That it's doing good to actually hold its own, not slip further down, you know. So let's take a look at gold. Gold's the same. It's been holding its own at $1,224.20. It's been in that range for quite a little while now, and so is silver. They're trying to hold their head above water, the two of them, right now in a deflationary environment that's being created by the Fed, with they're pulling $50 billion a month liquidity from the system in a process called quantitative tightening. Now let's take a look at oil. Oil today looks like it's up just a little bit, 1.88%. And there might be a little bit more pain coming for oil, but this is one of the big stories, the fact that oil's fell so far. This is putting upward pressure on the dollar, massive upward pressure on the dollar, the fact that oil's fell so far so fast. So let's take a look at bonds and rates today. And we see the bonds doing exactly what I expected. This is the most important market of all for what I expect to happen. This is what we really need to keep our eye on. And I said a few days ago in my market report that these things are going to start to creep up. I didn't say they'd shoot up real fast. I said they're going to creep up. They're going to creep up, the bond yields. And that's exactly what they're doing. They're creeping up. We're up 2.2% on the U.S. 10-year today. So 2 basis points on the U.S. 10-year. 1.2 basis points in the U.S. 30-year. 2.2 basis points in the U.S. 5-year. 2 basis points roughly on the U.S. 2-year. And the smallest amount of movements on the 3-month. it's only moved less than 1 basis point, 2% of 1 basis point. And so they're all moving up, though, and they're all creeping up. They're not moving up real fast. They're creeping up. Now what we got to take a look at is the U.S. dollar index. We're looking at a day where it's not moving much. It's staying in just under 97, 96.81, but it's still staying strong. Considering what's happened recently, quite recently, you know, the dollar really hasn't moved up that much, considering how much the price of oils fell. When you take into consideration that your dollar is only worth how much oil you can buy with it, and you can buy about 30% more oil this week than you could 2 or 3 weeks ago. You know, when you take that into consideration, that the dollar can buy more oil now, and everything is based on oil. Everything's made from oil. Everything from when you buy a pair of shoes to when even your food products. Well, you say to yourself, well, how is oil in my food? Well, it's like this. Even if the food doesn't have a drop of oil in it, and most food does have oil in it, in the processing, not right directly in it, but in the packaging. The packaging has got oil in it. Like if you've got a plastic box that the food comes in, that plastic box has got oil in it. But there's more than that. It goes deeper. The truck that brought it to the store used oil to get it there. So even your food has oil in it. Not directly in the food, but through the processing of the food, you know, to get it to the store, and also the container most likely has oil in it, or oil related. And also when they process the food at the farm, for instance, they would use machines that ran on oil to move the food from point A to point B in the farm and to help in processing it. All the way, oil involved in everything. So this is an oil-based economy. And so the dollar buys more oil today, quite a little bit more oil, because the price moved from in the 70s all the way down into almost broke below the 50s. So that percentage-wise, that's a big chunk. But the dollar hasn't moved that much, because the dollar was like 94, 95, and it's only moved up to 96 and change, like what, 1 or 2%, where oil's moved like 30%. You know, and so if this had happened before, if this had happened 5 years ago, you get a drop in price of oil, the dollar would move more, the U.S. dollar index. But the reason why is that inflationary pressures are fighting the deflationary pressures simultaneously within the system. And one is counterbalancing the other. And so Donald Trump put an awful lot of inflationary pressures into the system that's been helping the Fed. The tariffs that Donald Trump has been putting in are terribly inflationary. The tax rebates and stuff like that, and tax cuts and everything else, that's all inflationary. And so he's been throwing inflation into the system, and at the same time that the Fed has been throwing deflation into the system, and the two have actually been fighting one another. And that's why the dollar hasn't moved that much upwards, really, considering what's been going on with the price of oil. Okay, so now let's take a quick look here and go back and take a look at the Dow Jones Industrial Average this morning. She's up 166 points on the day today. It's a little bit probably of a relief rally back in the stock market. 24,487.71 is what we're looking at in the Dow Jones. Now, if you haven't seen it already, there's a situation developing in around Russia and Ukraine. It's involving an area called Crimea, and it's between Russian ships and Ukrainian ships, and you should watch my video I just produced a second ago on here about this situation that's happening. And NATO is kicking off maneuvers, largest maneuvers, it says. This goes all the way back to the Cold War, you know, sort of thing. And so here we have it. There's a situation developing there. Take a look at the show I produced just before this one, because I don't want to say any keywords that's going to get this this particular show demonetized, you know. Anyway, now let's move on and take a look. Let me see if there's anything we missed this morning. No, we didn't. We got it all. Listen, thank you guys for tuning in to this report. I really appreciate you guys giving me the thumbs up, you know, and watching my videos on here. Thank you guys very much, and we'll catch you in the next program coming up on Tuesday. Bye-bye for now, guys.